I had the privilege of meeting JP Lane at Rotary and heard his story and was incredibly moved and thought that he needed to come to New Braunfels Brauntex and tell his story. You guys are going to get a treat as well. He'll be doing some extra things tonight, so not only will you hear his story, but there's some other things that are going to happen. But first, just a little bit, my name is Marianne. I'm the Director of Education and Community Outreach, and part of my job is creating community events, free events for where we think that there's a hole or a need, and so we've done mental health events, we've done suicide prevention events, we've done events for our nonprofits and first responders, and so we're super excited to finally get to do something for our veterans. We are so thankful for your service, and we're so glad that you're here tonight to hear JP's story and be part of the Brauntex, and we hope to see you again. We wanted to thank our sponsor, that is Walmart, is amazing, so if we give them a round of applause. Without their sponsorship, we wouldn't be able to have this free event for you. So before we get started, we hope to see you again. Look at our season offerings. There's some great stuff, and we would love to see your faces and for you to be part of this community if you're not already. I just want to take a moment and say, if you are a veteran, would you please stand? We are so grateful and thankful for your service. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Sit back and enjoy JP's story.
Signed that dotted line, I signed to serve this nation. And that service, that mentality, that heart has never left my body, whether I was injured or not. Whether it's feeding the homeless or helping with warriors that have been injured in combat, literally receive a home. The fact that I lost both my legs for freedom, that was a small sacrifice compared to others. And so this word freedom not only reminds me of a great brand that supports our military, but it also reminds me every single day that I need to give life 110% for them who gave the ultimate sacrifice. You will be told it's impossible. Tell them, nice try. Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Nice, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so excited, and I knew that my family and friends and all of my close neighbors were gonna be here because this is one of the first times I've ever got to come out to this local area and tell my story. So I'm truly honored, I'm truly blessed. Thank you all for coming. Just to let you all know how serious I took this, I shaved my legs for today, okay? So I'm clean, ready to go. It's exciting. It's gonna be a good night. But I actually saw every single one of you that stood and said that you had served this nation. I just want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart for your service and sacrifice and everything you have done. So thank you. Can we give them a round of applause again? So every single person that stood up tonight actually has their own personal reason for signing that dotted line. For me, I will never forget the reason that I have for myself. I remember sitting in my 8th grade language arts class, and my teacher leaves the room and brings in a box TV on wheels. Y'all remember those, right? We don't have those anymore. That's crazy. But she brings it in, and I was like, yes, movie day. And same with the rest of the class. They were super excited. Until she turns on the TV and shows us what's really going on. 9/11. The Twin Towers were hit, and every single person in my class was literally in tears. I'm sure every single person here that was alive at that time remembers exactly where they were, what they were doing. And I remember that day sitting in my language arts class, and as soon as the tears settled, I decided to make a promise to myself. Now, mind you, I'm only in 8th grade, so we're not super bright. But at the same time, I really was very patriotic from the get-go, with my dad serving in the Air Force and my uncle in the Navy. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign that dotted line myself and serve and protect this nation from that ever happening again. Now, obviously, I did have to wait till after 8th grade because only the Marines accept 8th graders. It's all right. My little brother's a Marine. He's in 7th grade, but anyways. So I was super excited, right? I graduate high school and I realized, you know what, it's time. I go to the recruiter's office and I ask them, what's the most dangerous job you can give me right now? Obviously, because my dad went Air Force, I'm a rebel child, so I went directly to Army, right? And I'm like, what's the most dangerous job you can give me? And they said, 12 Bravo Combat Engineer. You can make bombs, blow stuff up. They're like, it'll be a blast, kid. Wrong choice of words, my friend. Little did he know what he was actually saying. I gotta find that guy because he was accurate. It was gonna be a blast, but he didn't know how big of one. But come to find out, the job that I was signing up for was actually gonna be super fun. I was gonna be able to literally go out and every single day search for bombs and be the first one out on mission and clear routes and allow my brothers and sisters in arms to come home safe. So how do we do that? Well, as you can see, we were out there enjoying life, doing all sorts of missions, and I would ride in these different vehicles, and there was 3 main types of vehicles that would be in every convoy that we would go out in, right? The first one being the Husky. Has anyone seen a Husky before? 2.5 of us. Great. That is awesome. You guys will get the half later, but anyways. So it's awesome because it's a vehicle that's always at the front of every convoy, and it has this system on the front that scans underground and can literally tell us if there's a bomb under the ground that the enemy had buried. So pretty awesome truck, super cool technology. Now, normally I didn't drive that vehicle, but I will never forget this one fateful day. They said, Lane, we need you to drive the Husky and lead the convoy. And I was like, okay, cool, sounds fun to me. And I get in, and little did I know that the microphone toggle switch was stuck on the on position. Now, when that happens, the entire convoy behind me is forced to listen to just me. That's it. That's all they get to hear. And so for 10 straight minutes, what did they hear? But Specialist Lane, we're in Afghanistan. Yeah, that's it. I'm just kidding. It was the worst beatboxing for 10 straight minutes. All of a sudden, my toggle switch falls down, turns off, and then the next thing I hear is my commander saying, who in the world was beatboxing for the last 10 minutes? My bad. That was me. Just so y'all know, I never drove that vehicle again after that. It was really weird. I wanted to, but they just didn't let me. One of the other vehicles I got to operate in is called a Buffalo. Yeah, you probably heard the first one was a Husky, the second one's a Buffalo. Apparently someone likes animals or whatever that's naming all these trucks. But the Buffalo is one of the biggest military vehicles out there. This thing is humongous. But the cool thing about the Buffalo is it has this ginormous arm on the top. So every time we find an IED, we don't have to go walk up directly on it. We can use this long extended arm and go and dig and try to figure out what's going on. So it was always awesome to operate in that vehicle. But one of the main vehicles that I got to operate in a lot is called an RG-31. And this is, a lot of people always ask me, were you blown up in a Humvee? And I'm very grateful that I was not, because the IED that I hit initially I wouldn't have survived. So an RG-31 is a huge up-armored vehicle that allows the blast, every time we got blown up, to go up and away from the vehicle. So I got to Afghanistan in 2010 and kept doing missions every single day, searching for IEDs. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Every day, just the same boring stuff, searching for bombs all the time. And then the first time I get blown up, it was crazy. My truck flies up into the air, slams back down, missing tires and pieces and stuff. And I was driving that day. I had so much fun in that blast. Before the dust even settled, I looked at my truck commander in the passenger seat and I was like, let's do that again. Which he replied, no, let's not do that again. He did not enjoy getting blown up. Little did he know I was the crazy guy who really loves roller coasters. So I'm in Afghanistan. What better way to enjoy myself than thinking I'm on a roller coaster while being blown up? So that's literally what I did every single time. But obviously, the reason I was able to enjoy that moment was because I got to look back and I saw that my battle buddies, my soldiers that I was with, were okay. So obviously, I was able to enjoy that moment, right? Another day, another mission. My RG-31 gets blown up again, flies up into the air, slams back down, missing tires and pieces and whatnot. Don't worry, USAA covered the insurance. Just kidding. But my RG-31 literally is completely totaled, but everybody was okay. Everyone was safe. This is an RG-31. Every single day we would roll in one of these, and the blast that would come up underneath these vehicles wouldn't even be able to do any damage to us. And that mindset of always getting shot at, always getting blown up, my unit started getting pretty, well, they call it big-headed, and they felt we were invincible, because now months are going by and everything's okay. Nobody's really getting hurt and injured. And then all of a sudden, that whole invincibility mindset changed real quick. March 26, 2011, when my best friend, Justin Ross, was shot and killed by a sniper while we were on mission. I will never forget this day. I will never forget coming back from mission, and we're on the base and every single soldier in my company in formation. And y'all have probably seen what I'm about to describe. Boots, rifle, helmet stacked up. Never in my entire life did I think I would see Justin Ross's boots, rifle, and helmet stacked up in front of me. Every single soldier in my unit was in tears, wondering, how did this happen? How could we have stopped this? And when they called for formation to be over with, they dismissed every single person and said, hey, you can go back and to your tents now. For me, I didn't go back to my tent. I walked up to his gear where they had a picture of him right in front, and I fell to my knees and bawled my eyes out for what seemed like eternity. Every single minute that I was in tears, wondering how this happened, the happy-go-lucky dude that I was completely changed. I was being filled with anger, hate, revenge, you name it. To the point where every single mission that I had gone on after that, it wasn't about finding IEDs anymore. All I wanted to do was hunt. A lot of us understand that veterans will come home, soldiers will come home from things like this happening in combat, and they will struggle with those thoughts and those memories. I knew that for myself, besides being killed, there was only one way that I would not deal with those memories. And sure enough, that one way ends up happening. July 2nd, 2011, I was blown up my third and final time, and this time it wasn't a good moment. It changed my life forever. My RG-31 that was hit was actually a very, very crazy different day than our normal missions. See, for those who don't know how route clearance missions operate, the command will give us a list of routes, of roads that we go and clear. And we clear them one at a time until we're done. And then we go back to our base and we call it a day. But this specific day, July 2nd, they asked us to clear the most dangerous route in the entire area, not once, but twice. There were some very important people going to be rolling through that afternoon, and they asked us to verify twice and make sure there was never going to be an IED threat. Well, that's our job. So we woke up that morning and we got ready for the mission. I got into my RG-31. I was behind the 50 cal in the gunner's turret, and I was in the last vehicle in the convoy. And I'll never forget leaving the base that day. I actually, for some reason, stared at the guy closing the gate to the base. And little did I know, that was the last time I would ever see that base or the most of people in it ever again. I had no idea what was waiting for me out there that day. So we get out and we get onto the most dangerous route for the first time of the day. And we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get on this thing and search for IEDs, and as soon as we get on route, the truck in front of me immediately gets blown up. Everybody was all right, but they had to call back to the base and say, hey, we need another crew, another truck, and a hauler to come pick up the damaged vehicle. So as this exchange was happening, my driver in my vehicle says, hey, Lane, we're going home in like 30 days. Do you mind if I spend time behind the 50 cal? I was like, yeah, sure, man, that's totally fine. And so we exchanged spots. I get in the driver's seat and he gets up in the turret, and we continue on mission. We had cleared and make sure everything was all right with that route, and we left. We were clearing the rest of the routes on our list for that day, and little did we know that the Taliban would use that same exact hole to bury a 200-pound directional charged IED. They covered it with dirt and made it look like vehicles were driving over it while we were gone, and they waited for whoever to just return on that route. Little did they know it would be my unit. So we finish up the routes, and we're all excited. Nice, we're coming back to this route. We already cleared it in the morning, so we should be good, guys, but we'll cover it one last time, and then we'll go back to the base and call it a night. So we get on Route Red Stripe, the most dangerous route, one final time. And every single truck in my convoy was passing over it. Mind you, we're going only 5 miles an hour. So that's pretty slow. It's easy to pinpoint and pick a truck whenever they want it. So the trucks were going over 5 miles an hour. And as soon as my RG-31 gets on top of that 200-pound directional charge IED, the guy presses the detonator, turning my RG-31 into that. You can see the picture on the left. There's no more engine in my truck. The windshield on the right side there is where I was seated in the driver's seat. That's 4 inches thick of bulletproof glass. And my head, if you look closely, the shatter starts in the center. My head shattered that windshield. On impact, the doctors actually said that my brain had flattened to the size of a pancake, swelled back up, and pressed against my skull, causing a traumatic brain injury, and they had no idea that I was going to make it. On the right, you can see where the IED actually penetrated my vehicle. Remember, I said these things are super strong, they're up armored, they can take a blast no problem. They had finally figured out for the first time in history how to penetrate an RG-31. They finally figured it out with my vehicle. As you can see as well, there's no door on the hinge, and the blast was so strong it pushed the door off the hinge and made it fly into the air, and they found my door over 100 feet away from the blast site. That's how huge this explosion was. In that moment, my truck had flown up into the air and slammed on the passenger side, causing even more injury and damage than what would have been anticipated and what I dealt with in the first 2 blasts. In that moment, both of my legs were amputated immediately, which I actually consider a blessing in disguise. And people are like, that's crazy. Why would you say that? And I actually consider it that because my foot, my right foot and boot were found melted to the floorboard of my truck. So think about that for 1 second. If I wasn't amputated in that very moment, I would have been melted to the floorboard of my truck and I would have bled out and died right then and there. So I'm extremely grateful that that amputation did end up happening. On top of the 2 leg amputations, my left femur snapped in half, my pelvis snapped in half, dislocating my spine from my pelvis. My right arm snapped in half 90 degrees. My right middle finger was amputated, but that's because I used it too much. So don't advise that. My 4 front teeth were knocked out when my face hit that steering wheel, and everything inside my torso was destroyed except for my heart and my left lung. So the doctors had to cut me open down my perfectly chiseled abs that I used to have, open me up and go in and fix me. 26 injuries and 28 surgeries later, they put me back together. Now mind you, in this state, literally after a soldier has been blown up in Afghanistan and Iraq, typically they will already get the soldier back to the United States within 72 hours to get worked on because this is where the best care is, right? My body was struggling so much during that time, and I died twice on the operating table, that they didn't get me back to the States for almost 2 weeks. I was having a pretty hard time with this. It was difficult. It was a lot of pain. The picture on the left, as you can see, they put all the hoses in my body and plugged me up to everything just to keep me alive. And a month and a half in a coma. It was the best snap of my life, don't get me wrong. It was fantastic. If I could do it again, I would. But a month and a half later, I wake up, and my dad, of course, being Mr. Comedy, thought that it would be great to take a photo op. So he takes a picture of me on my first day awake. Thanks, Dad. And he literally said I would want to remember this moment. Now, at the time, I did not agree with that at all. But when he took this picture, I now can look back and realize the struggles and everything that I had gone through. Because the day I woke up, I wasn't able to talk. I had a tracheotomy in my throat and all this stuff was going on. And I would just sit there and look at the situation. I'll never forget when I was able to finally say a few words. I wanted to see what happened to my legs because I didn't even know what happened there. And so I moved the sheets and I saw that my legs were gone. And I looked down and I looked back up to my dad and I was like, well, this is different. And that was pretty much the same response he gave me, was a little chuckle, because he knew it was going to be difficult. But the crazy thing is, right before I woke up, I have to tell you all this story because it gets me every single time. My doctors had already told my parents, my family, everybody, just so you know, we know he's been in a coma for a month and a half, and we're trying to keep him stable and everything, but because of what he had gone through with his brain and that whole entire process, he's most likely not going to wake out of this coma. And if he does, he will probably have brain damage for the rest of his life. Which my dad said, I always had brain damage apparently. So he's like, tell me something new. But when I woke up from that coma, he actually wanted to know for a fact what was going on with me inside because I couldn't speak. So he writes down on a sticky note, can you read this? And all I could do was nod my head yes. Everybody in the hospital room, my doctors, the nurses, and my family, they were all there just super excited that I was awake. were in tears. I understood these 4 simple words. And they knew at that moment that I would at least be smarter than my little brother, who just so happens to be a Marine. It's a good day. It's a good day. By the way, he loves that joke. But do you think these days in the hospital were pain-free? No. To be completely honest, this was the most painful time in my entire life that I would never wish on my worst enemy. Never. Every single day that I was awake was pain unimaginable in my entire body, inside and out. There was days where obviously I could barely move, so the nurses had to take care of me, right? They had to bathe me and stuff like that, which I didn't mind. They had to tilt me on my side and clean me. And my family would have to leave the room because I was screaming so loud. It was so much pain just to tilt me from 90-degree angle, from my back to my side. It was excruciating. I will never forget it. And every single day, I would not only be in pain, I was on a lot of medications that would mess with my mind and try to bring me down, keep me suppressed. And little did you all know that in that picture on the right, on the wall on the right side, was a mirror. I would look in that mirror every single day and see a monster that doesn't want to stick around. To the point where in the hospital and even more in therapy, I decided I didn't want to be here anymore. And I almost took my life 12 separate times because of that. Every single day I would look at that. Realize that who's going to love me looking like that? I'm not going to be able to do anything that I used to do. I played drums my whole life. I played football, basketball, snowboard, wakeboard, all the things that kind of require legs. Now it's all gone. Every single day was a struggle. And I will never forget one of the ways that I got out of that struggle was something that the military actually taught us. Some of you have probably heard this phrase, "I got your six, battle buddy." Anybody remember what it means? I got your back. It's funny how they teach us how to get each other's back, and not just in the good times, not in the fun moments and the joking around, but more importantly, in the most deep, darkest places when you're at your worst. Hey, I'm still here for you and I got your back no matter what. My battle buddies showed me that they actually meant that. Because they didn't know that that guy right there was seriously depressed every single day in that hospital bed. I spent almost a year in the hospital, just healing. And my battle buddies spent their hard-earned money and got plane tickets from different states wherever they lived across the US, and they flew in to say hello to me and see how I was doing and check up on me. Who does that? That's crazy. They actually cared. And every single conversation we had in the hospital bed reminded me that we're all humans. We all go through bad days. And how do we get through it? Together. We don't push ourselves away from others and try to deal with the situation on our own. No. We allow them to come into the situation even though they had no idea what I was going through. They have all of their limbs. So how could they understand what I was going through? They didn't. But what was important was the fact that they loved me enough to actually be there for me. And that reminded me that we actually all need that in our lives. When we're going through something difficult, don't push anybody away. We bring them closer. They may not understand, but we let them understand. And that moment literally changed everything for all the days followed that. The reason why is because I thought I was gonna be like this hoo-hoo soldier, like I can deal with this on my own. Loss of legs, whatever, it's just a flesh wound. Like, I thought it was gonna be all right. But little did I know it was actually super difficult and I needed them to be there. So I started calling my parents and my family and everybody, because everybody eventually had to go back home, go back to work and get on with their lives, because I was just living it up in the hospital for a long time. So I called everybody and said, hey, I'm not having a good time with this. Like, this is a struggle, and I know it's been months since I've been blown up already, but can you all just give me a little bit of time, because I need some help. And I'm so glad that I made those phone calls, because they were able to encourage me the entire time. And then I was able to finally start the fun therapy. Physical therapy was very, very crazy. It was interesting. Oh, by the way, that's the picture on the left of my buddies. I forgot that was there. But they put a smile on my face all the time. Talking jokes and all sorts of stuff. It was great. In the picture on the right, you can see that I started therapy, which was kind of ironic, considering the doctors actually said, hey, just so you know, your legs are so badly burned that they're actually not going to be able to handle prosthetics and the pressure it takes to walk in them. So get comfortable in your wheelchair. And I was like, what am I, Air Force? No, I'm not. My dad loves that joke. I was like, no, I don't think you know who I am, and I don't think you know who's with me on my side in this battle. And I'm going to overcome this, and I'm going to walk again. No matter how long it takes, no matter how painful it is, I'm going to walk again. And they're like, okay, kid. And literally, I go to my first prosthetic dude, and I was like, hey, they said I couldn't walk. Can we do this, or what? Can we attempt it? He's like, yeah, I guess we can attempt it, but we'll start with your right leg, because as you can see, I got like a metal frame around the left leg, still allowing the femur to heal up, after snapping in half. And so they put me in a right prosthetic, and as you can see, I got up, and I did have a big smile on my face 0.02 seconds before that picture was taken. And you can see that there's no more smile really there. The reason why is because I took 2 steps, and as soon as I took the second step, I literally felt a sharp pain. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. And I sat down, and I took off my leg, and sure enough, the doctor was actually right. All the burns on my right leg had shred apart, and I was bleeding a puddle of blood in the bottom of my socket. A lot of people would be very discouraged by that. And they would be like, well, the doctor said this was going to happen. It did happen. I'm not going to try that again. But it was already too late for me. I made myself a promise that I was going to walk again. So I healed up, used some aloe vera plants. Bingo. You're welcome for that tip. And 2 weeks later, my burns were healed. I was able to get back into my prosthetic. And they said, hey, JP, just so you know, your left femur is healed. You should be good to go to get into a prosthetic and be on 2 feet for the first time in forever. I was like, sweet, that's cool. So they put me in 2 legs, and no joke, it's like something's wrong with 2 steps. Just don't take 2 steps, people. It's dangerous, okay? Because I took 2 steps with my left leg and snapped. My femur had snapped in half inside my socket, and I don't know if it was him, but I'll just say it wasn't, just for his sake. But my therapist, who was like 500 years old, did not hear the snap and told me to keep walking. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I need to get it checked. He said, fine, go get it checked, come back and finish PT. Pretty sure he was a drill sergeant or something. I don't know. The guy's crazy. Sure enough, I go and get it checked at the doctor's, the ER actually. And they're like, yeah, it's snapped in half. We need to do surgery like now. So we do surgery, they put a metal plate on my femur and put me back together. Needless to say, I didn't show up for PT that day. You probably wondered where I went. But later on, when I healed up, I went back to a PT and he was like, all right, let's try this again. I got back in my prosthetics. And then I asked him, hey, I know I'm a double amputee, but how long am I gonna be here learning how to walk? He's like, well, you lost both of your legs, so you're gonna be here for 2 years learning how to walk. And I was like, no, I'm not. I have a life to live and I wanna go live it. Definitely not with you, sir. So he laughed in my face and said, no, you're gonna be here for 2 years. Well, this is cool because I normally tell this story outside of Texas, but if you ever go to Fort Sam Houston, which is right down the street, and ask the Center for the Intrepid, I hold the actual record as the fastest double amputee in and out of therapy in only 6 months. Now, I will say this, it wasn't because of my own strength, I promise you that. What they didn't know was God was giving me the joy and the strength to get through all of that, because it was painful every single day. I'll never forget, my therapist loved messing with me. He would say, hey, we're gonna do an exercise to help you. And I was like, okay, doubt it, but we'll see. So he says, sit on a big medicine ball. It was big blue ones, they were like humongous. But take your legs off and you're gonna balance. I was like, okay. And as soon as I get settled and think I'm balanced, he throws a medicine ball at me like 1,000 miles an hour. He's a baseball star or something. And I grab it and fall right off the back. I'm like, okay, this is not fun anymore. This is an exercise you want me to do? He said, yeah, get back on the ball and we're gonna do it like 10, 15, 20 times. Come to find out, it was a great exercise because it actually works the core, which I found out later is exactly how we walk every single day. So if I wanted to do well at walking again, I had to work from the center. And that's exactly what happened. So I continued to do that. And therapy was just a roller coaster ride of emotions, as you could probably imagine. And it was difficult. But then during my therapy, I was driving around and I heard this song on the radio. And I'm actually gonna bring my buddy Izzy and Noah. The guys are gonna come up and I would actually like to sing for you that song. Because little did I know that that song was actually gonna bring a lot of joy into my life when I was very, very depressed. And like I said, it was a struggle. And I heard this song on the radio and I was like, God, what do you want me to do? Because this situation sucks. I'm tired of it. I'm either gonna check out for real or I need some sort of direction or purpose. And all of a sudden, the song Only a Mountain pops up and I listen to the chorus and it says, it's only a mountain, just tell it to move. And I was at a red light bawling my eyes out because little did I know that this moment was just a situation that's short in time. The pain that I was dealing with, everything that I was going through, I was gonna be able to get past it. And so, little did I know that at the time I was still building my faith up and trusting in God and in this very dark situation. And he told me to get a guitar and learn this song, and I was like, I'm a drummer. Y'all, you know that, right? Like, you gave me that skill. He's like, no, get a guitar. And I want you to sing this song. And little did I know that it would change my life forever. This song has been all over the world. Sometimes brings me to tears, but I will try to hold it together for you guys. I've been able to sing this song with Jason Castro, who is the original artist, and sing it for tens of thousands of soldiers across the United States, reminding them that they're not alone and that whatever they go through is just a mountain. Another day, another fight. It always feels like an uphill climb. Another step, another mile. The story of your life. Yeah, it's harder than you ever thought. And it costs you everything you got. When you're back against the wall and you feel like giving up. This is only a mountain. You don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. This is only a moment. You don't have to let your fear control it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. You gotta find a second wind. It's not as high as you think it is. Yeah. Don't give up, don't you quit. You gotta climb if you wanna win. Yeah, and I know it looks big, and I know you feel small, but just a little bit of faith can change it all, change it all. This is only a mountain. You don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. This is only a moment. You don't have to let your fear control it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. Ask like you believe it. Trust like you can see it. Take your fear and say, there's nothing in your way, no. Even when it looks big, even when you feel small, just a little bit of faith can change it all. This is only a mountain. You don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. This is only a moment. You don't have to let your fear control it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. It's only a mountain, only a mountain, only a mountain, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a little bit of faith can change it all. It's only a mountain, just a little bit of faith can change it all. It's only a mountain. Only a mountain. Thank you guys. So, oh, did y'all hear that too? One what? Wait, on donuts? I like donuts. That song really changed my life, and it really reminded me of that we all go through stuff, and it is just a mountain. It literally is just something that's a moment in time, something that may seem super steep, that we might not be able to get past, but we're going to. We can get past it, and we can actually tell that mountain to move and keep walking forward. You can bring the lights up if you want back again. Thank you. Appreciate you, boss. And knowing that everything that I had gone through in therapy was just the start of something new and fresh that was going to happen. Because little did I know that eventually, even though I was in therapy for a good minute, it felt like it was never ending. It was great because once I got out, I started to realize that life would continue again. And things were going to start changing. And let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I broke it. I did break it. I have a few pictures that will show you the guy that you saw in the hospital bed, the guy that was in therapy still learning how to walk. That guy was eventually going to be in the past and eventually get through everything that he had gone through, stop taking all the painkillers and all the meds they had me on, actually walk unlike what they had said that I was going to be able to do. They said that out of the 28 surgeries that I had, that I would never sing ever again, because the tracheotomy that they did, they put a tube in my throat. And when they took that out and did everything to try to put me back together, they accidentally damaged my vocal cords. And so they literally said, yeah, we're sorry, but you're probably going to talk funny for the rest of your life, and you'll never sing ever again. Now I just talk funny, so that's nice. So, that being said, that same guy, they said it wasn't going to go anywhere or do much of anything. Didn't sound like I had a life ahead of me at all. But because I gave it to God and said, look, I can't do this on my own. I need your assistance. I need your help. And I need your strength to get through all of this. He started to give me all of that I asked for. The strength, the joy, and everything that's good in this life. Now, most of you all don't really realize this, but when I was blown up, I was actually married at the time. And so when I was blown up and came to the hospital, and I woke up from my coma, I found out she wasn't really able to handle the situation very well. And so we ended up separating. And I didn't really think that I was going to find anybody, because remember what I said earlier, I would look in the mirror at a monster every single day, wondering who's going to love me looking like this. And I heard a pastor say one time, about a few years later, pray specifics, and I'm like, all right, I'll give that a shot. Sounds like a great idea, actually. And that's what I did. I prayed to meet my future wife at the gym because I didn't want to force her to work out with me. I want her to have curly hair because I kind of dig that. And I want her to have a strong relationship with the Lord as well. And a week later, Faye, can you stand up, please? Crystal shows up at my gym, unannounced, didn't tell me about it. She's there, and this is the Gold's Gym that was on 281 before it closed, if y'all remember. This is so cool that it's local, because I get to tell y'all, like, remember the gym right there? So it was at that Gold's Gym, right? Which is why they closed down, because we met and they didn't need to be open anymore. But anyways, so it was so cool because I walk into the gym and she was in the very back corner or whatever, so I didn't see her at the time. But when I walked in, she saw me, and there was a very big bright white light and doves that flow from this, and I was just walking like that. It was epic. I remember it clearly. And so it was what? That wasn't a joke. That was real life. And it was really cool because people were like, how did you all meet? And I actually had the guts to walk up and say, I just want to let you know, you're doing this workout better than most of the dudes in here. That was my only pickup line. That was all I got, people. Didn't have any legs, and that's all I got. And it was super awesome because after we had officially met and everything like that, she said that she prayed for me too. I was like, Lord, I just want a guy with no legs. Super cool sense of humor. Maybe one or two tats, whatever, it's fine. I don't know if that's how the prayer went, but I'm pretty sure. But it was really cool because I actually got to find out a lot more about her, right? And the coolest part was that she loves a person, in not necessarily that likes to shop, but more so likes to shop for deals and savings with coupons and all that stuff. But yeah, so we got something similar. Hey, there you go. So now it all makes sense. She saw me and she's like, oh, he's 50% off. I need that guy. He's the one for me. He's the one for me. It was epic. It was great. So good times. But it's been an amazing journey. I've been very, very blessed to be just able to continue moving forward in life. And people are always wondering, how is that even possible in your situation? And I tell them the joy of the Lord, but comedy has a very good part in it because that's pretty joyful, and laughter is the best medicine. Have you all heard that phrase before? That's how I got off all the other medications and started telling jokes a lot. And it's been really fun, and I'm just grateful because my mindset turned from that negative person that I was after my best friend was shot and killed. And I started realizing that instead of living in that depression and that darkness, I can actually enjoy life in His honor and in the honor of many of those who have come before us and sacrificed everything for what I have today. And that's why my mindset changed from the negative back to the positive, and I was able to find every little positive I could in my situation, my own life. For example, do you guys realize how much money I save on socks? It's lots. I've had this same pair for 14 years. It's nice. They're not even holy yet. But on top of that, my parents are extremely grateful that I no longer have athlete's foot. And I never will, ever again. Yes, she's grateful too. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, see, there's no stench coming from here. That's a pretty nice situation. But my all-time favorite positive in this moment is the fact that because I'm a double amputee, and this isn't always the case, there are single amputees that do not get this blessing, so I feel for them. I feel. But because I'm a double amputee, I get to choose my height. Probably know where I'm going with this. So before, but when I had my legs, I was 5'6". Y'all know that's not 5'6". Come on, guys, wake up. I was 5'6", and then the doctor's like, "Hey, since you're getting prosthetics, you can choose your height." And I was like, "What?" 7'4.5". Sounds about right. NBA, here I come. No, I wish it could be that easy, but they actually tell you you're only allowed to choose up to 2 inches past your original height, and you can go an additional 2 inches every single year. That's pretty nice. So I tell my wife all the time, if you ever feel like leaving me for a new man, I'll be 2 inches taller tomorrow. I will be your new man. Don't worry about it. I got this. It's been very fun. It's been a joy. And I'm super grateful because, as you can see, there's been a lot of places that I've been able to travel. And honestly, the guy that I was when I had my legs, he was nobody. He had no inspiration in his entire body. He was all about himself and cared about nobody. And I'm grateful that this happened. One of my favorite phrases is, "Thank God I was blown up." Because it changed everything for good. Yeah, there was pain. There was suffering. There's a lot of ups and downs. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. And people ask me all the time, if I was able to go back in time and change everything. Not go in the truck, not switch spots, not go on the mission. Would you do it? Nope. I would get blown up 1,000,000 times for every single person in this nation. I would get blown up 1,000,000 times for the fact that my battle buddy who I switched spots with didn't have to endure this. And the fact is, my faith, my joy of life, my closeness with my family, all of that grew because this happened. And I would never take that back for a second. I'm extremely grateful for every single day, every moment that I have in this life. And I'm reminded every moment for those who have sacrificed and given everything for our freedom, that I need to live life 122% in their honor. I hope that I can inspire just one more American to do the same with me. Because even though in a moment where it seems like all hope is lost, our nation may be confused, whatever it may be, there's some people who are no longer with us that gave it all just for our freedoms. So maybe we should remind ourselves of that every single day. Maybe put it on a sticky note on the mirror saying, live life to the fullest for those who can. And give it all we got. America is supposed to be the light of the world. I say we do that again. Personally. And no, I'm not running for president. I'm just... This ad is proud to you, but not. I would like to sing a couple more songs for you guys tonight. They're actually both originals. And the first song is called Smile On. It kind of came at a moment where I just felt like there's a lot of negative things going on around the nation, and I feel like we should just smile a little bit more, you know? And that joy that comes from the Lord that I get to enjoy life with every single day, I figured, you know what? Maybe I should spread that joy with everybody else that I possibly can. So it was probably about 3-4 years ago I wrote this song called Smile On, and I hope you all enjoy it with me. Yeah. Woo. Hey. Black clouds are optional, opportunity or obstacle. Peace and joy are yours to find when you're in the arms of Jesus Christ. Oh, did you know there are no mountains that you cannot move? It's hard to be down when you're looking up, living your life in the Savior's love. You know life is what you make it. A bad day is a good day in the making. No matter what comes, no matter what comes, just smile on. He shines and the clouds are breaking. His joy is yours for the taking. No matter what comes, no matter what comes, just smile on. Yeah, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what comes. Yeah, yeah. When tomorrow rolls around, jamming out to a different sound while you're moving in the groove and hear the sound of your feet. Stomp until victory be. Yeah. The storms will pass and you will still be standing. Whoa, you know life is what you make it. A bad day is a good day in the making. No matter what comes, no matter what comes, just smile on. He shines and the clouds are breaking. His joy is yours for the taking. No matter what comes, no matter what comes, just smile on. No matter what comes, it's not wrong. Yeah. No matter what comes, no matter what comes, it's not wrong. We've all been through difficult days. We've all been through hard times. Don't let the devil win. Smile on. This next song, I actually want to have the guys join me in talking about it a little bit. And you're going to hear the title, and you're going to be like, oh no. Oh no. We're not taking any lyrics or anything. Well, we are a little bit. But the title of this song is called America the Beautiful. You all have definitely heard the most beautiful versions of that song. It's not that song. But we figured in the times that we're in right now, that I think having each one of us talk a little bit about what the song means to us and why we wrote it, I think would be important. Because this is America right here.
Can we give it up for JP and his amazing testimony? Praise God. Well, just the story of just how we met, really. I mean, you can't write a better story when it comes down to it. Like you said, this is exactly what America is, you know, in the time that we're in right now. I feel like, especially our generation, we need something new. We need something to remind us of where we come from. And even us, like, I know you said we got your six, right? That was something that you're talking about. But we got your six, man. And that's what America is brothers having each other's back. And not only just in the physical, but now in the spiritual, we got your six. And I think that's what makes America so beautiful. It doesn't matter where you come from. We're free to love. We're free to be who we are. And we're free to go out in the pursuit of happiness. And even just writing this song, it just happened so naturally where it was just beautiful. And that's my part.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'll give it for as ridiculous as is JP. He's super talented. I will say one thing about the song itself. When we met, I don't think that it was what we had on the plan. Like, it wasn't even part of the plan, was it? But it was such a testament to what America is. It's diversity. It's no matter what comes our way, we're able to take something and make something great out of it. Amen. And I know I use my faith a lot because God did a lot for me, and we incorporate God into everything that we do. But to me, I believe that this song it's a little urban, and it's, you know, but we threw a nice little rock lead in the inside of this thing, and I hope that it touches you guys. But I feel like for me, America is unity. It's being able to do what we do. It's being able to go outside and watch your children play, have barbecues, and, you know, go to football games and concerts and not worry about conflict touching down here the same way that it does in many other places that we don't get to see on a daily basis. And the people who laid down their lives, the people who literally were on the battlefield fighting for us to be able to stand in what we consider to be freedom, which everyone that we know at this moment, regardless of, you know, your walk of life, if you're here in this room or wherever you're watching this from, you are absolutely walking in freedom that people paved the way with sacrifice, with blood, sweat, and tears, and with truth, and fighting for that truth. And I believe that that's what America is all about. It's about being truthful with each other, family, and unity, and brotherhood, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that when you guys will recognize quite a few of the lyrics that are in this song, because we figured what better way to wake up a little bit of America and say, hey, let's give a tribute to all the songs we grew up on that brought this nation back together. So I hope you guys enjoy America the Beautiful.
It's good. shade every point of view.
One nation under God, bleeding red, white, and blue.
Oh, sing does that star-spangled banner yet wave.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hey, come on, put your hands up. America, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. America, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Only place where you're free to run, free to love. Fall so hard for this freedom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. America, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. America, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The only place where you're free to run, free to love. Also hard for this freedom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
We are one nation under God. This country is beautiful, and it's because of every single one of you. Let's continue to be the light. God bless.
Give him another round of applause. Let him know how much you love him and thank him for him being here tonight.
I know. How you doing? I know.
We also wanted to thank Comal Specialty Courts, let me make sure I say this correct, Comal County Specialty Courts, because they're also helpful and a sponsor here tonight. He will be meeting and greeting outside in the lobby, and he will have his books and his t-shirts and all these things right there for you, so you'll get to meet him. But give him one more round of applause for all that he shared tonight.
Yes, I will be out there in 1 second. Not really, I'm super slow since I lost my legs. But we'll see you all out there. Thank you all again so much for coming, giving me a few minutes of your time to let me tell you my story. And God bless.